Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have another interesting game to share with you. On the white end, LeelaRookOdds, no queen rook, playing against Grandmaster Fin64 on lichess. Time controls 5+3. We have an English opening. Let's see Leela's approach in this early phase. Leela playing a Grandmaster, no queen rook, doesn't matter. I'm still going to beat you in 25 moves. Okay, from here, queen b3, interfering with a d5 pawn break. If there's a pawn break in there, files open up for that extra rook. It's not allowed. Let's see the setups for each. Both going for a kingside fianchetto. Something that stuck out to me with this game, the knights, this current position. Leela's knights do not obstruct any white pawns. Black cannot say the same. d6, same sides castles game. Rook e8 supporting e4 next. Leela sniffing that one out. Has nice control over both central light squares. h5, h3, very natural. h4, g4, now available. a6, f4. Black continues with bishop d7. Now, if there is this capture, difficult to say how exactly Leela would be recapturing. I'm thinking it would be with the pawn, just to maintain control over that e5 square, not give the knight or rook access to it. Okay, we don't see the capture here on f4. It's bishop d7. Leela is not interested in biting on b7. Open file for black rook from there. At this point, Leela's approach, mission accomplished with the queen post on b3, goes back home. The knight, the bishop, the pawn have good enough support over that d5 break. Queen operating on a different diagonal in this case. Rook b8, gearing up for a break. e4. First thought here is, okay, the bishop now has a productive square. You fight for d4. No, Leela wants more than that, as we will see. Black gets in the b5 break. What more does Leela want? Well, space. Space and a more irritating post nearby for the bishop on g5. This is a key kingside defender. If you're going to have some successful kingside attack, you probably need to remove this piece right here. B takes C, D takes C, Queen C8, increasing the pressure on F5. How would you continue here? Pause the video if you'd like. Okay, with these Leela games, tricky to come up with Leela's moves. The approach here is not to give up this pawn so easily. This is really the main thing Leela is pointing to at this stage. Invasive f5 pawn. We have here g4. Leela's giving away a pawn by playing in this way, but hanging on to f5 for a little longer. Here's the thing, if you just resolve this tension, we're looking at a completely open file that I imagine can be contested soon thereafter. Also, h3 is all of a sudden sensitive. Not Leela's approach. We have instead g4. Giving up a pawn for what reason? Well, this knight is a bit more vulnerable. All it takes is a knight move and we're throwing a punch. Leela gives up another pawn with this next move. Develops bishop g5. B pawn falls, and now here we go. Knight g3 hitting with tempo. Another pop quiz. How would you respond here? Pause the video if you'd like. Okay, in the game, black initiates the capture on f5. And I imagine a train of thought here is, let me first capture on f5, and after the recapture, this pawn is unable to capture anymore on g6, and white will not be able to open up the file here and target f6. There is a great downside by playing in this way. By initiating the capture on f5, e4 opens up for 3 minor pieces. Also, d5 opens up for the bishop. Now, a top move here is to fall back to f6, and you can play in this way without fear of this capture on g6. After knight f6 and the capture on g6, available to black would be this exchange sacrifice, followed by bishop h3. This is a winning continuation for black. But how black plays it, we have first tension resolved. Another pop quiz. What is your move here? Pause the video if you'd like. Okay. In the game, we have knight f6, and it is no longer winning here for black. In fact, this position right here, there's only one move that wins. Very difficult to come up with this move. Certainly not the first one that runs through a human's mind here. This is the only winning move. Be sure to leave a comment if you came up with this one. Knight f2. For what reason? Okay, let's see. Giving up the knight to get rid of a pair of rooks, and now it's looking at a queen move to the b file. Trying to activate this queen, still playing on rank 8. Queen move to the b file, eyeing this b2 square, is one of the moves. At the very top, it points out e4 in this position. Roll a little bit with this passed pawn and open up e5 for a few of your pieces. Now, I took this one out a little bit further. I was concerned about this f6 move in this position. Here's how it's saying to treat that. Insert a check. If it is captured, there's bishop takes f6. And if the king falls back, here's one of the moves you can play, rook e5. This is where we're seeing a benefit of running with this e-pawn. Black can make use of this square, and this is a source of counterplay. Queen h5 in this position, you are in a pin. There's bishop captures f6 there. Okay, this is a winning line for black. Very difficult, though, to come up with this initial move right here, knight f2. Okay, in this one, the far more human knight falling back to f6 certainly seems like the consistent way to do it. You initiate the capture. This pawn doesn't have an option to capture anymore. Let me now blockade here on f6. The follow-up, bishop captures knight, bishop captures bishop, knight d5. Another pop quiz. What is your move? Pause the video if you'd like. Black blunders here. Plays queen d8. In fact, those are the only two queen moves by black in the game. Queen c8 and then back home. There are two moves here that keep this equal. This is one of the top moves. Bishop g7. If bishop g7 and queen g4, black would be in an only move situation. I wonder if you can spot the only move here. Pause the video if you'd like. Okay, the only move to keep this level is to go for an exchange sacrifice at this precise moment, with the idea to now follow with knight e7, another only move that keeps it level. Knight check, don't go to the h file, a major to the h file, and then checkmate next. King f8, knight h7. From here it's saying best is a perpetual check on h7 and f6. If white tries for more in this position with knight h5, this is a saving resource, interfering with queen takes bishop, and the knight is poisoned because there is a pin, queen on g4. How are things different if black does not take the bishop? This is one thing I was curious about, move order detail. Why not maybe first play knight e7, found this very interesting. There would be a check, another check, and after king g8, knight h5 is working. If rook captures bishop is tried here, white has a new way to recapture with the knight on h5 instead of g3. The queen gets to recapture. And knight g6, there's no longer a pin. You can take the knight. Also, if black does not remove the bishop here and plays knight g6, the bishop still lives. And check out this position. Attacking with every piece. And add the pawn to the list. All but the c and a pawn are attacking here for white. This is 24 points of material going right after that king. Okay, we don't see this particular line with bishop g7, queen g4. That would again be an only move to go for the exchange sacrifice. How black plays it, queen goes back home, covering the bishop, knight e4. Earlier, white had nice control over these light squares. Now they are occupied by two monsters, firing away at f6. Bishop h8. Now the queen pounces. g4 check. King f8. And now move 25. Queen h5. And black resigns just like that. What are you supposed to do? Bishop is hit. Your options, move over to defend it. If you do that, there's knight g5. And this is a disaster. Knight paving the way for queen h7, or queen takes f7 is a mate threat. Also, if you move the bishop, all right, you're running right into f6. This bishop will fall shortly. There is no holding things together here for black. What an impressive game out of this English opening, minus a queen rook, no problem. Anyhow, your thoughts with this one, feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.